Hello guys, how are you? This is the build of the 1 to 150 scale La Sirene from Eller. A ship, top of the line ship. Some say it never existed. Well, we'll discuss that a bit more ahead. I found this kit beautiful. Its box art is very beautiful. I bought it on my local hobby shop and started almost 2 years ago. I don't know exactly, but around that, if memory suits me fine. I started to build this as I went on my build on Victory. The paint is drying. Okay, I'm working a bit here, a bit there, and it was growing and growing, and it comes a time when you have to continue and finish it. Otherwise, the risk that you take on damaging it is bigger than when it's on its beginnings. So I enjoyed this one very much, and I hope you enjoyed also this video and this build. Thank you. The sails are vac form sails. Regarding that, we'll discuss that a bit later. The quality of the mold are pretty good, decent. This ship didn't have any kind of problems fitting. It brings also a base and a red line tool, which was a first for me. And this kit, it doesn't have any kind of excessive parts. It's not bad engineered, it's well engineered, and the instructions are clear. So I enjoyed this one very much. Of course, as always, you start planning ahead, reading the instructions, taking notes. It helps if you write the color tones, some nuances on the kit, some specific things. Just be careful with this, be careful with that. It helps to read the instructions first and to do a bit of dry fitting. On these ships, dry fit. You clean the part, cut the part, clean it, and then you dry fit it to see if it's going to fit perfectly. Be careful. Always dry fit first. Also, because on dry fit it fitted so well, that gave me confidence to work and paint on both halves independently. That made me confident that if I paint it first, I won't have to correct seam lines after and thus damaging the work, the paint work. Also, I first primed each part with spray can of Tamiya spray can, and here, as you can see, I'm using French blue 14 acrylic from Humbrol. Don't ask me why I had a can of this paint here, and where better to apply it than on this ship. color that says on the instructions is desert yellow. I applied then a wash just to turn it into a bit of a wood tone after, but the base color is desert yellow. And these are one for all markers, acrylic markers. They help a lot on these details. I bought these to build and paint a vase back then, and they are from Molotov, by the way. And if you can see, it's pretty much easier to paint the details with a marker like this, having acrylic paint, rather than with a brush. And these red stripes here, same process. Well, I removed those stripes after, but then I repainted it, and why you will see later. I am going to explain to you. These parts were painted with, as I told you, with French blue spray can. Let it dry and then applied the gold hand brush. And now the decks. I can tell you that on the decks it was very simple. I just applied deck 10 color with airbrush, and then after drying and protecting the base color with a satin coat, I applied an oil wash, black and brown oil wash, in order to make it look like wood and to make those details of boards and wood pop up. Remember those red stripes that I told you that I removed? This is the box art, the model made on the box art, and it didn't bring any red stripes. And here I painted it, and I thought, could I be wrong? Maybe I saw it on the instructions that it was wrong, and turns out it didn't. This is the color 60 here, and 60 is scarlet red. Turns out the instructions say one thing, and the box art and several pictures of several model builders says other. That's why I went to research about this ship and as you can see, 93 desert yellow, and here scarlet red. And that's why I went to search for information about the ship, and it's very scarce. It's almost inexistent. So I thought, well, I'm going to remove these later. But then when I restarted this build 2 years ago, I thought I should put it again, the red color. And now these cannons, they need a lot of work, not a lot of TLC, but then they can be turned into pretty decent pieces of this beautiful ship. I researched about this ship, La Sirene, and there was a ship called La Sirene, but it wasn't this one in particular. Even so, I started to build this one, and I remember how many similarities with the Vasa that this one had, and then something just didn't make sense. And I researched about this ship, and yes, some say that this ship is fictional. Even the balance that it was needed just to support and sustain the La Sirene, it would be very hard for a ship like this to sail in open seas and in waves, in strong waves. So I started to build this knowing that probably this ship, this one with this scheme, these colors, never existed. Even so, I like this ship very much. paint these gold details, I first gave it dry brush, gold dry brush, 4 or 5 coats of dry brushing, and then just moistened a bit more the brush and went softly on top of it. Even so, what you see here is mostly dry brush, gold dry brush, and then with the same type of blue with a brush, just gently removing any imperfections, and I do believe it turned out okay. And it's all for today on this episode, but don't worry, tomorrow I will have the second and final episode. On this one I had too many video footage to just put it in one video. I won't make you go through that suffering. So until then, guys, keep modeling. Always with a smile. See you tomorrow.